Hey guys, Basement Horrors here, and today I'm going to be telling you one story about two brothers who venture into the woods and find something a little bit odd. I hope you enjoy, and here we go. I think this will be pretty long, but bear with me because I'm trying to write all of this down to show my brother later and compare our stories. My brother is 7 years older than me. So, when I was 9 to 10, he was in high school and had to hide from our parents that he smoked and dipped tobacco. As a result, most days of the week after he got home, I was homeschooled, we'd go out into the woods for an hour or two. We lived way out in the country in an already rural part of East Texas, so there were plenty of woods to explore. The land south of our house was all owned by a mining company, and our parents didn't want us going out there, so we always crossed a fence to the north of our house and explored the woods out there. Very likely some locals' property that we had no business being on, but when you live out in the country, you figure you'll have plenty of sign before you accidentally walk into someone's backyard. After a few months of venturing out in this area, never traveling more than an hour's distance from our house, and always in the daylight, we decided one day we'd just keep walking. And walking. My brother smoked and spit into a Dr. Pepper bottle. We entered big pastures and dove back even deeper woods. Whenever we talk about it, we've always said that we must have traveled at least a mile, but we usually say more. Eventually, we came across a circular pond. I distinctly remember having a much higher rim on one side. My brother explained that this was because a tractor had dug it out and piled up dirt on one side more than the others. We kept going past this pond and entered another patch of woods, and as we came out, we saw that the tree line curved around sharply to the right, and the clearing we now stood in opened up far wider. We went in that direction, and while my memory is getting a little hazy, I know that we suddenly came across a very large white building surrounded by high fence. There was a gate large enough for vehicles to move in and out, and a dirt road leading away from the facility. We could hear the sounds of activity and could see people walking around the outside of the fence near the gate. I'm afraid any other detail I could give at this point might be colored by false memory or exaggerations from an imaginative young brain. So I'll wait to talk to my brother about it before I go any further. At that moment, we both felt this spine-tingling terror alerting the body that something about this was very wrong. We were not supposed to be here. We were at least going to get in some very serious trouble. We were standing in the middle of a clearing, gawking at a facility of some kind on what was obviously someone else's property, and we were seeing something deep out in the woods that we had never known was here. All this time, we just walked around in the woods. If we'd gone any further, we would have stumbled across this. I remember standing there for a moment longer, asking my brother what this could possibly be, and he told me something along the lines of, "I have no clue, but we should really get the fuck out of here." The tone of his voice truly freaked me out, and I remember running back the way we came, hard, crossing the same pond and cutting a path as close as possible to the route we had traveled. When we finally stopped, out of breath, my brother told me that in no way, shape, or form would I utter a word of this to our parents. They were spankers and awful grounders, so he knew he'd get in trouble for taking his little brother into what was quite possibly danger. After that day, we kept going out in those woods, but never that far. Eventually, my brother got caught with a can of Skull, and my dad made him eat the whole can and puke it up on the porch. Being an easily intimidated kid, it wasn't hard to get more information out of me about my brother's smoking and dipping habits. But I never brought up the facility we'd found. Over the years, My brother and I have brought up the story many times. Our parents have gotten way laxer since we've all grown up, and we've even told them the story. We've added a lot of other weird ones to our arsenal in the time since, as our family has always had huge areas of land for us to wander around on, but this is one of our favorites. It's always, remember the time we almost got killed by those government researchers? But for the past few days, this event has been really bugging me. I told my wife about it in detail, and she was pretty amused. I thought I'd look on Google Maps a bit in the area we grew up in, something I'm honestly surprised I've never done for these specific reasons before. And what I found, or haven't, is really bizarre. Moving north from my house, which has since burned down and left an ugly scar on the satellite image on Google Maps, I can very clearly make out the woods we spent our time in. When I go further north, I can see several large clearings followed by more wooded areas. Eventually, I even found a circular pond, and I'm positive I can make out the higher end of the pond that we stood on, as my brother explained how it had been made. When I drag the map further, I see what looks to be the clearing and the sharp curve of the tree line to where we saw the facility. But there's nothing there. No trace of a building, no evidence of a dirt road leading away from an old structure. It's just pasture and more trees. In fact, when I zoom out and look at the whole area, it doesn't even seem possible for there to have been an operation of the scale that we saw out there. Just a little ways further north, the land becomes nothing but pasture with houses pressed against a country road. For people to have come and gone from this area, they would have had to have a road of some kind as well as power lines stretched out to the building. But there's nothing like that on Google. In fact, there's really no "here it was" spot on the map. It's like it was never there to begin with. It's been a few years since we've talked about it, so I texted my brother earlier today to ask him if he still remembered this happening. He called me immediately after and said, "Hell yeah, man, that was a really weird day. You know how good I used to be in the woods, but that shit really freaked me out. We had to get out of there." This whole event feels more and more like something that we walked into that we shouldn't have seen. I still remember the feeling of dread upon finding the place and knowing that something bad would happen if we stuck around. I'm going to try and send him this post later, so he can read it and corroborate as well as look at the Google Maps for himself to see if he sees anything different. Hey guys, I hope you enjoyed this story. It really freaked me out, and I know it might not seem like just the creepiest thing ever, but it really is. There's a lot of theories that you could put into your mind. That could have been anything. Sorry about that, I just looked over and there was a dead spider on my candle. It smells really good. Here. Good, right? Oh, I burnt my nose. Oh. Pretty sure I just burned some nose hairs, but it's all Gucci, fam. Anyway, it is pretty creepy because there's so many things that could have been, and I mean, I don't think that it's just like the guy's imagination. And I don't think it's fake. I mean, it could be fake, it could very easily be fake. But also, what would the purpose of that be when he didn't even go into that much detail about the actual facility? I don't think it's fake. I believe it. And yeah, it's super creepy. It could be so many things. But this video is getting a little bit long. And I've got schoolwork to do, sadly. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoy this. Make sure to add me on social media. Tell me what you guys liked about this video. Give me a thumbs up. Subscribe if you're not subscribed. And if you have any questions for a Q&A, leave it in the comments. And until next time, as always, have a perfect day.